Christmas at the Cabin, a short story by Ben Maddox. After a week you settle. Your skin gets thicker and you get used to the sight of the dead. You see other survivors, but you don't talk to them. You don't trust them. They're doing what you're doing, ransacking shops for supplies. The air is filled with drills and hammers as people board up their windows and fit extra locks. She looked at you. She shook. She was scared. You made to talk to her and she pulled a knife. She stopped shaking and looked defiant as she walked towards you. She had learned how to survive. She thought she had. You cry that night as the calluses build up on your soul. You turn over a knife in your hands. It's beautiful. A carved bone handle. An elk drinking from a river, sun rays bursting from the sky. You thank her every time you use it. Deliver a thankful prayer to her. She becomes a totem, a mantra, even though you didn't know her name. You're used to this now. After a week, you settle. After a month, you're honed. Your body has started to tighten. You're thinner than you've been in years. You use your body like you haven't before. You hike and hunt. You kick indoors and dump out bodies. Your arms are growing and your stomach flattening. You drank a lot in that first week. Tearful nights screaming at the walls, but you've stopped that now because it slows you down. It makes you vulnerable. One night, on the floor of your living room, you lay livid and rolling, shouting. And they came. You were lucky. They didn't expect your anger. They didn't expect the hammer in your hand. They came to rob you, to kill you, but you robbed them and you killed them. Your rage uncontrollable. You killed them past death, hammered them into your living room rug, fueled by drink. You were rage. You don't drink now and you feel fit. Now you punch extra holes into your belt so it'll hold your trousers up. You've never been this fit. Even as a kid you were soft and pudgy, sticky fists holding lollies. They laughed at you and called you fatty and they didn't stop when you cried. Soon you came to own it, cracked the jokes before they did, slapped your belly and smiled when they all laughed. You wonder if any of them are alive tonight. You think you know the answer. You sleep in the woods because it's safer. You sleep in a tent you looted from a sports shop. Sleep is fitful. Every noise wakes you. You get used to sleeping in fits. You get used to being on guard. It's been a month. You're keen-edged. After a month, you're honed. After 6 months, you're a machine. You don't know how long it's been since you heard another voice. You stopped speaking to yourself a while ago. Now you trust the silence. It dumbs you into feeling nothing. You stop thinking about them. You stop wondering if everyone's dead. They're not your concern. Rabbits are your concern, snapping their necks after they get caught in your snares. Their blood is your concern. You slice open their necks with your bone-handled knife. You don't remember where you got it, but it's sharp and it slices the rabbit's throat so you can drink their blood. You don't trust the water. Is that where it came from? You can't be sure, but you don't want the risk. You know one thing. The animals lived. The animals survived. The animals are healthy. You drink their blood and you live, you survive, and you're healthy. You have a routine now. You wake up, you check your snares, you drink and eat. You clean your camp. Only as night falls, when you look up to the stars, do you think back. Foggy images swim in and out of your consciousness. You see train platforms, you see upholstered seats. You see a small room with a sofa and a bed, shelves with coloured boxes and people smiling, sitting around tables in caramel light. There is one smile. A bright smile. A beautiful smile. A smile directed at you. You start to hurt, so you forget that smile. Push that smile back under the surface. You hope it'll never bob up again. It does, but less and less until you forget that smile. You forget the pain. You wake up, you drink, you eat, you sleep. After 6 months, even your name is indistinct. After 6 months, you're a machine. After a year, you're gone, submerged under filth and forgetfulness. Your hands kill, your legs propel you after other animals, smaller animals than you. You still remember fire, the last shred of yourself floating away in smoke every night. You warm yourself next to the fire at night, but no memories surface anymore. They've gone. Language is gone. Replaced by needs, replaced by drives. You have to go further afield to catch animals now. They don't come close anymore. They know you, and so you play with them. An endless game with new rules every day. It's a game not played for fun. And if you lose, you die. You hear something. Not far away. Something different. Something bigger. Something more deliberate. You hear it, but you don't see them until they're on you. They kick away your bone-handled knife. One of them stamps on it and it snaps. You scream, you squirm and you scratch, but they don't let you go. If they speak, you don't hear them because you don't hear words anymore. You only feel. Fear, scarlet fear. It courses through you and makes you bite and scratch and howl. You fight until you feel a sharp little pain in your leg, and the scarlet fear fades into brown, into grey, into black. After a year, you're caught. Your hands are white. Your arms are white. The rest of you is covered in dark fabric. You lift up your head and you're in a room. The light is low. You sit up. You're perched on the edge of a bed. They've cleaned you and clothed you. All of those memories repressed by survival start to resurface and the dam bursts. Alone in that room, your mind explodes. You can't hear what they're saying, but you know they're speaking. Your screams are too loud to understand them. You heave and your ribcage cracks with the power of your sobbing. Tears flow down your face and darken the concrete floor. Your nose runs and your hands claw at nothing. You stop to find your breath and you hear them speak. This is good, they say. Your mind is waking up. Time passes. You don't know how long, but you don't scramble into the corner of the room anymore when they come to bring you food or try to talk. You don't engage with them. You won't let them touch you, but you feel sad when they leave. They see you looking at the door. It's not locked, they say. You don't go through it. Your body starts to grow again. You eat and you feel full. You start to enjoy the taste of food. I'm sorry it's so basic, they say. You don't talk back, but responses start to form in your head. Again and again your eyes flick to the door. We can go outside if you want, they say. You shake your head. They nod. You start to cry. They hold you. You don't shrink away this time. You let them hold you as you cry. You lift your head. Their shirt is wet with your tears. I'm sorry, you say. Don't worry, they say. We've all done things we won't forget, they say. You shouldn't forget, they say. You shouldn't forget, but you should understand. We all did the things we needed to do. We wouldn't be alive if we didn't, they say. You're not alone, they say. We all understand. That smile bobs to the surface and you see it. That bright smile. That beautiful smile. That smile directed at you. And you scream. You scream at the light in the ceiling. You punch the floor, wail and slam your teeth together. You scream until you're exhausted, and then you sleep. When you wake, your mind feels clear. I'm ready to go outside, you say. They hold out their hand and you take it. They turn the handle, pull the door open, and I find myself looking at a distant range of mountains. I see the cracked concrete that I'm standing on. I see high fences and people walking around, talking to each other and laughing. Are you okay? I turn to them and they're dressed like me, and they're looking at me, kindly. We can go back inside if you want. No. This is good. I feel good. Good. My eyes widen and I turn to them. They laugh. Yes, we salvaged one of them on our trips to the city. You can try it later if you want. I'd like that, you say as you see the Segway whiz off into the distance. The sound is jarring. It doesn't sound like it's coming out of me, but the fact that my companions laugh back reassures me. I think it's the first time I've heard you laugh. I nod. Those days, alone and feral, those days eating raw animals and subsuming every aspect of myself, are lifted off my shoulders with that laugh. I can pick those days up and examine them, analyse them. Was that really me? As I work through the summer, as I build a routine and make friends and tell jokes, that animal in the woods regresses into the shadows of my consciousness. It's disconnected from me, so far from the person I'm rebuilding. All of us know, though, know something that we can never forget. Know that that kind of complacency can never set in again, because we all know the reality of who we are. The scars on hands and faces are a testimony to it. We've all been stripped down to what we are, and we all know what we are now. Animals. We know that we are not some perfect divine creation. We haven't been given dominion over the world by some avuncular deity. We are not special. We are like everything that walks on this planet, and capable of doing whatever we need to do to make sure we don't die. When the thin layer of civility has been stripped away, we will scratch and howl and bite and kill to stay alive. We all know this here. I see the same look in the eyes of my companions that I see when I look in the mirror. Then I realize that that creature in the woods was really me. Wholly me, purely me, and I take that creature in the woods and I fold it into myself. It is me. It is all of us. Where did you get these from? I ask. Oh, Tony and Lisbeth found them in town. I thought it wasn't safe. It isn't. Then why risk lives for these? They found them while they were getting supplies. But it's good. We need this. It'll be the first time since it happened. We'll never move forward unless we hold on to some of the aspects of who we were. Is that why so many people brought games? Yeah, so many did. Instinctively. They brought them because they bring hope. A knowledge that if we don't abandon everything, then maybe we can return one day. Now, stick that up over there. I wake up before dawn that morning. The air, crystal white, bites at my skin as I hurry to the commissary. I'm up before everyone, apart from the guards. Potato after potato plop into the water. We have a lot of mouths to feed. A lot. And today, we're all sitting down together for the first time. I smile when I think of it. There are so many of us. So many survived. We don't know how. We spend so much time asking, why us? When our wives and husbands and children and parents all perished, why did we survive? It hurts us, and sometimes we want to join those we've lost. But we are here, and we are here together. And today is important. Today reminds us of how far we've come, Today we can remember those we've lost, and we can revel in those we found. They didn't die for nothing. We are crawling back, slowly. And today, it's a leap forward. I wash my hands and I step outside. The blood of the morning sun drenches the hills. It's bright and crisp and almost impossible to believe that this beautiful world is still so dangerous. Thank God we have the fences. Bleary-eyed people start to rise and go about their daily business. The tannoy crackles to life and strains of music echo around the concrete square. People stop, they cock their heads as they remember, and then they walk on. I dole the food out onto the plates and people smile and they say thanks. We've tried to make it special today. We cut out squares of stuffing and drop them onto plates. Some laugh in the recollection of it. I take the plates out to the guards. They stand their guns up against the wall and start to eat. Sorry you have to work today. Yeah, me too. But they're smiling. I dry the last pot and put it into the cupboard and Steve comes into the kitchen. Hurry up, we need one more. I take my apron off and I hang it up. In the main hall, the decorations I hung yesterday hang above the players' heads. The light from the paraffin lamps dances off them, reflecting a warm light onto row after row of people sat at tables, people laughing and people jokingly protesting. I stop moving, overwhelmed by the sight of it. My vision blurs as the tears roll down my cheeks. This is us, a community we've built, and we sit together at Christmas and we play games. It's only when I see this that I know we're not lost. Come on, you silly sod, Steve says, and I wipe my face on the sleeve of my top. He leads me to a table and there is Matt and Dan and Tony. I sit down and I'm dealt a hand of cards. And I groan because they're terrible. And before I play the first one, Steve turns to me and says, "Merry Christmas, Ben." And I look around the room at everyone, at us, and I smile. Thank you for listening, and this piece was made possible by all of you that listen to this show. Without you, this wouldn't exist. So thank you again, and I hope you have a very Merry Christmas.